everyone. Thanks for joining us for another informative weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Inside these pages, Western Roundup has highlights of the Civil Heritage Celebration and Healthwise helps you to manage diabetes. Stay with us for these and more interesting features.
Are you nonpartisan, able to read and write well, and ready to serve your country? The Electoral Office of Jamaica is recruiting persons like you to become Election Day workers. Apply at the nearest EOJ constituency office without delay. Bring a valid ID and TRN. Election Day workers will be trained and compensated. Together, we can ensure free and fair elections.
Thanks again for being here. Heritage Month celebrations might have ended in the past week, but I'm sure you'd be interested to see highlights of one of the key events to teach, showcase, and preserve the vibrancy of our culture and history. It's the annual Civil Heritage Expo, and our Western Roundup team shares the highlights.
Experience the cultural fusion was the theme for this year's staging of the Civil Heritage Expo, and students, teachers, and patrons were fully immersed in the activities of the day. The Western Roundup team was there, and we bring you the highlights. Stick around.
But with Alawa, we everybody want follow the root help shape for we future. Not to mention the culture. Celebrate Jamaica from the road to the fruit. Tiana telling you the truth.
Some 5,000 students, teachers, and parents converged on the grounds of the Civil Heritage Park on October 11, immersing themselves in a day of cultural experience ranging from exhibitions, dance, art, and music. The event was the 25th staging of the Civil Heritage Expo, held under the theme Experiencing the Cultural Fusion.
Civil Heritage Expo, it says its name, but in addition to that, it is an event that reaches the education fraternity, and we center mostly on the history and social studies. So we look at the syllabus of high schools, primary schools in Jamaica, and we try to carve most of the activities around that. We bring together almost everything that represents Jamaica. So we have the cultural aspect of it, we have the career section of it.
Teachers participating in the event welcomed the initiative as a tool to further enhance and bolster the teaching-learning process.
It is my first time here. It is important that students learn their culture, and especially for those who are preparing for PEP examinations, it's crucial for the social studies content. So it's a great experience for them.
It is very important to give the children a experience of our rich heritage, and also myself. This is an experience I definitely know the children will enjoy. And when we go back to school, we can really talk about what we saw here today on display. Once you're involved, practically you'll never forget. And going back and having rich discussion of what we saw today, it will help the children going forward.
It's a good experience. Students were able to come and experience heritage from a different perspective, because we normally celebrate at school. However, they were able to experience it at a higher level than would normally share at school.
Similarly, the students found the day equally educational.
I learned about my culture more and about the Tainos and the other ethnic groups and the people who came to Jamaica and things that they do.
I learned about the Tainos. I learned how to march. We had a project and we decided to come here. We had a history essay to write about.
Though mainly educational, the day was not short of fun and entertainment.
What is that?
the concerts. It was just very lively and very nice. And my favorite artist was Granny.
Entertainment, the rides, the food, the state, the people. I learned a couple questions that people answer on the stage that I didn't know the answer to.
It was amazing. I had a lot of fun. My children had a lot of fun, especially with the rides and the music, the dance, especially Bashment Granny, she turned up. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was very amazing.
The rides were also a big hit for the children. The event also featured exhibitions from stakeholders who praised the event.
Heritage is important, and we want to be a part of this program because in the Money Museum, we teach children about our history, our heritage, especially when it comes to our money. So those two things are really important. And of course, this wonderful Heritage Fest, there is no way something like this would be happening and Bank of Jamaica would not be in charge. So we want to educate, inform, and entertain the children.
What our company stands for is ecotourism. Where from the person who likes some luxury but really wants to experience the cultures or the countries they visit, to the person who wants to just completely be involved and immersed and learn something new. And so this sort of event where it's a full immersion culturally, you can tell that because of the fact that it holds the attention of kids. That is an indicator that it appeals to everyone. Young kids, older kids, you don't have to worry about whether or not it's appropriate for them. And so this is really, really in line with everything that Indulge Travel stands for.
Exhibitors included the Embassy of Japan, RADA, JIS, Bank of Jamaica, Charlestown Maroons, Institute of Jamaica, Taki Heritage, Taínos, Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica National Heritage Trust, UNESCO, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The 320-acre Silver Heritage site boasts a museum, heritage education center, which displays a wide array of artifacts and ruins representing an accurate and comprehensive report of our Amerindian, European, and African foreparents, their individual cultures, and how these cultures interacted.
That's all for the program today. As usual, thank you for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send your feedback to jismobe@jis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
November is recognized as Diabetes Awareness Month, so in HealthWise, we are exploring the holistic approach to management of this disease.
Diabetes is a serious chronic lifestyle disease affecting millions of people over the world and continues to increase. Diabetes affects how your body turns food into energy. It is a disease in which your blood glucose or blood sugar levels are too high, and glucose comes from the food you eat. Insulin is a hormone that helps the glucose get into your cells to give energy. Sometimes your body doesn't make enough or any at all, doesn't make any insulin, and so it doesn't use the insulin well. Glucose then stays in your blood and doesn't reach your cells. Over time, having too much glucose in your blood can cause complications. Example, situations with the kidney, heart disease, and so on. Although diabetes has no cure, there are steps you can take to manage your diabetes and stay healthy.
It is through lifestyle that we manage the risk of diabetes. Those behaviors include increased physical activity, a healthy diet, routine health checks, and strict adherence to medication. The ministry will be championing the cause of persons living with diabetes. We have updated our clinical management guidelines, which is now available on our website, and we will be working on increasing access to testing through the introduction of point-of-care testing. This methodology of testing is the gold standard for monitoring and control of diabetes. Our agency, the National Health Fund, will continue to support persons through the provision of diabetic medication and supplies, and I encourage persons with diabetes to enroll in the NHF card program to access this benefit.
The person with diabetes should really have an opportunity to sit down with a trained clinician who is able to help them to understand the concepts of diabetes self-management, education, and support. There are 4 core areas the patient must begin to understand. How and when to take medication. That's the first one. If you take insulin, then you need to know how does your insulin work and how do you eat in relation to the insulin. Then there are the people who have type 2 diabetes, which commonly start off with education on activity and just healthy nutrition. And then we add 1 of 5 classes of oral agents. And then we teach them how to make food, how to eat food. Also, we think of things like target blood pressure. Is your weight healthy, or do you need to lose a little weight? And most importantly, how do you feel? What is your quality of life? All of this is what we focus on. Also, when you get your lab work done, what is your hemoglobin A1C? The target should be 7% or less. Keep that number in your mind. Diabetes damages the feet, the kidney, and the eyes at first, and then eventually we also find it can cause coronary vascular disease too. But for foot care, the person with diabetes every day, you wash your feet, wash them properly. Dry your feet, dry between the toes. Moisturize your feet, but do not put moisturizer between the toes. Make sure that you wear cotton socks, right? If you're going to have your toes cut by somebody trained who knows how to cut them. Examine your feet every day. Do not walk barefoot. Please, please, please do not walk barefooted, because if you injure or cause trauma to the feet, you may not feel it because your diabetes has damaged the nerves to the feet. And finally, when you buy shoes that are comfortable and that you can wear without causing blisters or trauma to the feet. Now we have research that shows that I can prevent the eye damage, the kidney damage, the foot damage, and the amputations by just keeping my blood glucoses under control and taking care of myself.
There's no such thing as a diabetic diet, but it's all about how much I eat, the timing of my meals. So it's your portion sizes is what is important. Now, what we do recommend is that persons eat at least 3 balanced meals per day and small snacks. Snacks usually mean smaller, more nourishing meals, which we usually recommend that it be your fruits, your vegetables, or you can also use your nuts. Each meal or snack should contain protein because we need it to be balanced as well. Each meal should contain at least your protein and your fat. And we also want them to select a variety of foods from all the food groups. So there is some recommendations about the amount of fruits that you should eat per day. We usually say 2 to 3 servings. We want you to include a variety of vegetables daily. We also want you to include more peas, beans, and nuts in your daily meals. Reduce your intake of salty and processed foods, and to reduce your intake of fats and oils, and that of sugary foods and drinks. You aim for foods that have high sources of fiber, such as your whole wheat bread, whole grain rice, flour, more of your ground provisions. They will give you fiber, right? And that will slow down the rate at which your body breaks down the food, so you won't have a rapid increase in your blood sugar levels, versus if you eat foods that are low in these added fibers. When you're having alcohol as a person living with diabetes, is not to have it on an empty stomach, because it gives the risk of lowering your blood sugar. And also what we want you to do is that once you have diabetes, we do not really recommend the mixed drinks, so as to say, because they usually have a sweetened base. For women, it's usually you can have a drink per day, and for men is no more than 2 drinks. And what is a drink? Usually for beer, it's not more than 12 ounces. And for like a shot, is usually a shot, which is about 1.5 ounces. And for wine, recommendation is usually about 5 ounces thereabout.
There are several researches that have shown that physical activity, when done properly, for persons who are diabetic, again, you heard it, allows you to use up glucose. For children, the recommendation is at least 60 minutes, 5 days a week of moderate to vigorous activity, and it must be a combination of muscle and bone strengthening activity. That's the recommendation for our children. For adults, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week to get some health benefit, meaning increased circulation, reduce stress. And for the elderly, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If you're a diabetic patient, these are some of the activities that are very good for you. Swimming, jogging, dancing, these activities, they're not very vigorous. You maintain them at a low to moderate pace, and it's a very effective way of managing and controlling your blood glucose or your blood sugar. If you are going to start a physical activity program, that you check with your doctor before you start, because if you have a condition, if you're diabetic, hypertensive, you have any other medical condition, your doctor will determine the intensity level, the type of activities that you can do.
Persons living with diabetes mellitus have multiple psychosocial issues related to diabetes management and its complications even before COVID. And there's an entity called diabetic distress, which refers to the negative emotions such as feeling hopeless, angry, or frustrated that persons who are diagnosed with diabetes experience, especially if they lack social support. I must mention we have the mental health helpline, which is 888-639-5433, or simply remember 888-NEW-LIFE, which is a 24-hour, 7 days per week psychological support produced by psychologists. When you call this number, they can provide emotional support for you. If you are feeling any form of emotional distress, they can provide support for you, and where you need additional help, they will direct you to additional help.
Decent shelter is a human right, but providing this basic need is a challenge the world over. Our next feature looks at government's transformational program of providing decent shelter to persons least able to afford a home. Keep watching to learn more.
Welcome to MegJC 360, the pulse of progress in Jamaica. In just 5 minutes, we'll immerse you in a world of promise, productivity, opportunity, and transformation. The MegJC 360 Spotlight shines light on 5 dynamic portfolios under the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, from urban renewal to eco-conscious endeavors, and from social housing to transformative weather technologies, and so much more. These enlightening one-on-one interviews will reveal the trailblazers driving Jamaica forward. So, fasten your seatbelts because this is more than an interview. It's a swift journey through the epicenter of success. Meg JC 360, your express ticket to knowledge about the future of Jamaica starts now.
I'm Arlene Williams, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. The new social housing program, NSHP, was established in 2018 by Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness as the housing component of the Housing Opportunity, Production and Employment HOPE program. The program was developed to improve the housing condition of the country's poor and disadvantaged population by providing quality, affordable, and sustainable housing. The NSHP is implemented through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, MEGJC, with administrative and technical support provided by the HOPE unit. The program is implemented through 3 modalities. The first is the provision of indigent housing, in which the benefits are equitably distributed across all 63 constituencies, with each constituency receiving 5 housing units per annum. We are undertaking the construction of 315 housing units per annum under this modality. The second is the relocation of vulnerable communities, in which persons whose lives are in imminent danger are given priority attention. And the third is the upgrading of tenements or big yards, and we are undertaking 1 project per constituency under this component. Well, the new social housing program has significant impacts. The first and most obvious is the addition of the program to the government's thrust to increase the stock of safe, decent, and affordable housing island-wide. We have a target of 70,000 housing solutions. However, many of those do not consider the poorest and most vulnerable in society, for whom safe, decent, and affordable housing may be well beyond their grasp. As a result, such persons resort to squatting with all of its associated ills and/or live in dilapidated, substandard conditions that no human being should live in. The new social housing program aims to rectify all of this and in the process reduce the impact of poverty and homelessness in society. By providing housing for the most destitute in society, we are improving the standard of living of the beneficiaries. As such, they are more equipped to be able to go out and earn for themselves and take care of their children. Also, if we improve the conditions under which people live, this will serve to lift the general well-being of the society. To date, approximately 165 units have been completed, benefiting over 620 persons in 50 of the 63 constituencies. So in terms of upcoming plans for the new social housing program, the government intends to expand the new social housing program to give more Jamaicans homes. As announced recently by Prime Minister Holness, in addition to a greater budgetary allocation to expand the reach of the program, steps are also being taken to improve the efficiency and speed of delivery of units under the program. To this end, the National Works Agency, the NAA, will be developing an incubator that will provide contractors with the support they need to operate more efficiently and effectively. This initiative will add to Jamaica's crucial infrastructure development talent pool, which will increase employment while achieving the government's housing goals. So a committee comprised of technical persons will be formed to add insight and oversight to this project. This committee will include accounting, social work, and engineering professionals. The government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is building a more resilient Jamaica as we strive to alleviate poverty in our beloved country.
Up next.
Urban renewal provides the strategic direction towards the revitalization of our urban spaces. So it's really looking at
I'm out of school now, and me a look at job. I'ma just go up on an interview and them tell me say me not have enough experience. But I'ma forget experience if me not get no job.
Don't worry yourself, bro. I have some info for you. There is a $2 billion program that will help high school graduates gain job experience. 2,500 fifth and sixth form graduates will benefit from the LIFT program over 5 years.
This program is also about investment. And so our young people will be getting $85,000 monthly. That is a part of poverty alleviation. This $70,000 in hand and $15,000 will be placed in their bank accounts that they will not be able to access until they complete the program.
The Ministry of Education and Youth and the Office of the Prime Minister, through the Heart NSTA Trust, are teaming up to provide 8 weeks of skills training. After that, participants will get a 1-year employment placement with a government or private sector entity. Bro, all you have to do to get in the program is
be 17 years of age or older and have at least 3 CSEC subjects, including mathematics and English. You will also need 2 character references and must have graduated high school within the last year. It's for the most needy, so applicants must also demonstrate financial hardship. If you are interested, apply online at the Heart NSTA Trust's website or submit the form to your Member of Parliament's constituency office. The application period is open until August 31.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from...
This is where we leave you on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be here on this station tomorrow for more information you can use to transform your life. Until then, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. All good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.